Hey, it's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb, and on this episode, we're gonna do $1.25 keto meals for keto meal prep for weight loss. Coming up next. Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb, and on this episode, we're gonna do $1.25 keto meals for keto meal prep weight loss. Here's my before and after picture. And if you love that video, dance your fingers down like you're doing some meal prep. Click the like button. Make sure you click subscribe if you want to see all things keto, all things intermittent fasting, and smash that like button. Your question of the day today to put in the comments below is, what is your favorite keto meal? What is your favorite keto meal? I want to see you put in the comments below. But let's dive in. So we've got a lot of keto recipes. This is Royal Weight Loss Meets Real Life, hence my hair. And we're gonna go through, I did part one, a Walmart keto video for keto on a budget. I did grocery shopping to buy all these groceries. If you haven't seen part one, it's in the description link below. Making these meals $1.25 per meal, which is awesome. So here's the meal breakdown. I have in the description link below, you can sign up to get my free meal plan for this, but also the shopping list and the recipes that correspond to this to make it a little bit more organized. And I got my handy dandy chart right here of the different meals we're gonna make. So one is we're gonna make a keto pizza, but it's not out of almond flour. It's actually made out of rotisserie chicken. You get the recipe on that. Two is we're gonna do an egg salad sandwich with artichokes. Number three is gonna be a pork shoulder roast that actually makes 16 meals that are under $1 a piece. Four is we're gonna do another artichoke with butter. Five is we're gonna do coleslaw with hard-boiled eggs. Six is gonna be a chicken salad, making a whole chicken and making chicken salad out of it with salad. And then number five is gonna be cabbage and Alfredo. So I'm gonna hopefully try to film everything. That's a lot, y'all, that's a lot. And so I'm going to try to put everything in this video. If not everything is in this video, it will be in the description link below on the website that I have, so you can go make these recipes at home, and you can also make them for $1.25. Now, let me preface with, because I know there's gonna be some trolls that come out from under the bridge on this, that grass-fed is best and organic is best. I'm with you, boo. I feel ya. This mama llama feels you, but do the best you can afford. I know some people watching us are on SNAP or other food assistance programs, and my goal on the Countess of Low Carb realm is to make this ketogenic lifestyle and intermittent fasting lifestyle applicable to as many people and cast the net as widely as I can. So what I'm going to show you is not all organic and is not all grass-fed, but that is what I recommend. So do the best you can afford, but without guilt, shame, or condemnation, because that has no place here. Let's dive into our keto. Now that we've gotten through all that, let's go into our keto meal prep. Let's start with a keto pizza. Okay, for the first keto diet meal prep, for the ketogenic diet, we're going to do a keto pizza, but y'all have seen me do in the past other keto pizzas, which I will link down in the description link below, with almond flour. This one instead is with chicken. I'm going to use my Walmart keto chicken that I got from my grocery haul, and then I'm going to start prepping the chicken out. What we need for the recipe is a couple of things, which I will link down in the description link below. And while you're down there, click like and subscribe. But I'm going to start pulling 4 cups is my ideal to get. 4 cups of chicken. We'll see if I get that far, but that's what I'm trying to get off this rotisserie chicken. Side note, if you want to use canned chicken, you can. Boiled chicken in your Instapot back there. You can do that too. You can do a bunch of different things to get your chicken. It doesn't have to be this way. I just did it because at Walmart, for keto on a budget and cheap keto, this was $3.64. I'm gonna get comments of, I know there's creepy carbs in rotisserie chicken. I know that. I wanna make sure you know that potentially can cause weight stalls with the spices being used, having creepy carbs like maltodextrin, maltodextrose. Those type of spices can lead to inflammation, which can cause problems. So I know that, now you know it too. Let's go ahead and start pulling our chicken. We'll see how much meat we can get. And then from there, I'm gonna adjust my recipe depending on how much chicken comes off of this to make a keto pizza. Come over to help. That's applesauce and that's pork chop, the dogs. So I've got basically 3 cups of chicken in here that I've pulled from my rotisserie chicken. So I could keep trying to get a little bit more out of it. I'm not. Instead, I could fill this in with other canned chicken, boil some more chicken in my Instapot. I'm just gonna roll with this recipe though, and I'll put down below what the adjusted, like the real recipe is, and then you can adjust it according to what your needs are. But let's go ahead and get started and mixing in our eggs, our garlic, our Maldon salt, and some other ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and make this really finely chopped chicken. So I'm gonna go through with my knife and start cutting it up too. So it's like finely chopped pieces, and ensure that I didn't get any bones from the rotisserie chicken or any tough pieces. I wanna basically like mince my chicken with pork chop and applesauce's help, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and add in here 1/4 teaspoon of my Maldon salt. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of my garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of that as well. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I love Maldon salt, they're my favorite. I will put that in the description link below too, as they have the best flakes. See, I spilled some because I'm the Sesame Street chef here with my keto meal prep. I use these tins during my fast to help with intermittent fasting also, and if I get a craving for something sweet, I will pop one of these flakes into my mouth. Next is gonna be getting my 1 cup of mozzarella cheese in there. Listen, y'all, I used to hate shredding cheese. I used to hate it. I would always buy pre-shredded cheese, but pre-shredded cheese, say that 3 times fast, has creepy carbs in it, right? Like there's certain additives that are thickening agents to make the cheese not stick together. No bueno. If you're having potential weight loss stalls, check your dairy and cheese. But one of the things I've moved to is shredding my own cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and shred my own cheese. Yes, it seems like a Little House on the Prairie. A time hack is you could shred cheese and then freeze your leftovers, so you only have to shred it once, and you're doing productive time measures to make sure like that you have that done. Speaking of productive time measures, this recipe I have not done, but I'm pretty sure you can freeze it. And I'm going to attempt to freeze one of them today to see if it does work, but I'm pretty sure it does. In terms of batch cooking, you could make like 5 of these at one time and then freeze all of the leftovers to help you with your keto meal prep and for the ketogenic diet weight loss of having like grabby meals if you're busy. Let's go ahead and get our 1 cup of cheese shredded and put into our mixture. On the back end, I've also preheated my oven to 400 degrees, so that will be all set. They're still waiting for me to drop something. They know I will too, because I'm the Sesame Street chef. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump this whole cup into here. I've got all my ingredients mixed together. You can use a spatula. I just use my hands to make it super easy. Mix it all around, and then we're gonna start making our keto crust together. This is such easy meal prep, y'all. Like you could literally make 5 of these suckers, knock them out. And as I'm kind of mushing it together, I'm feeling again to make sure there's no bones. I don't wanna have any choking hazards in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 mini keto pizza crusts on my Reynolds parchment paper. I love this parchment paper. I've used several other kinds and brands, but this literally is the perfect pre-cut sheet that fits out here, and frequently Amazon has them on sale, so I will link that down in the description link below for you. It's literally like the easiest thing with their parchment paper. Wax paper, I have found does not work. You could try spraying it to see if that works, but for me, parchment paper, like I just use it for so many different things. Oh, I found a bone. That was a bone. I was glad I was going through. To make sure, again, I'm breaking my pieces up, and now I'm gonna start making my crust. So now that my parchment paper is down, applesauce is still waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 pizza crusts out of these. I'm gonna make them as thin as I possibly can, but I like having 2 separate smaller ones versus a bigger one. Do what you wanna do, but this, you know what? I actually need, I'm gonna make 4 small ones out of this recipe. This is a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 4 small ones out of these, 2 on each baking sheet. I'm gonna go ahead and poke holes in it to make sure that they don't make like bubble poppies. Look, she knows I probably dropped some. Applesauce is the featured guest on today's Countess of Low Carb video. Okay, I poked my holes in them. I'm gonna go ahead and add these into the oven. We'll heat for 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Okay, so for cheap keto meals, let me break down my math for the chicken keto pizza. 2 eggs, 20 cents. 4 cups of chicken, I had my whole rotisserie chicken for $3.75. I was up to about 3.24 cups. I just rolled with it, but it should technically have been 4 cups of chicken. So I'm just counting it as $3.75 because that's what I used. 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, $1 spices, 5 cents. 4 meals equals $5. So that's $1.25 for each of the pizza crusts. You can put whatever you want on here. I have basil that I can use as a basil sauce with the cheese to make it a whole cheese pizza. You could use tomato sauce, just be mindful of the creepy carbs in it. So we use Aldi's tomato sauce, which surprisingly I was gonna give an example, and we're out in my pantry. So they're a quarter or 39 cents, something like that at Aldi. So that's where I get my tomato sauce, is not at Walmart, but there. But if you factor that into your cheap keto meal crust, she wants to be in all the shots. Look at applesauce, she's a little diva today. So for your cheap keto meals, factoring that in, the shells were $1.25. I'm gonna call that victory. Boom! And for any haters out there that are like, they weren't $1.25 as she promised, they're $1.37. You got bigger problems than $1.25, okay? This is gratitude in your heart. This is such a good recipe. It's such a good recipe. So put down in the comments below, good recipe, so I know that you enjoyed this part of the video with the chicken pizzas. I'm stoked. And it's way less carbs than my almond flour pizza crust, which I have a bunch in our freezer over there. But I'm gonna start using this recipe more because it's higher in protein with the chicken in it, but the almond flour was higher carbs. So I personally would have, keto of course is high fat, water protein, low carb for the ketogenic diet. This is a higher protein, but the almond flour keto pizza crust was higher in carbs than this is. So I'm gonna take this. Let's go on to the next keto meal prep recipe for jamming out these keto recipes. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and get my eggs ready for my keto meal prep. I am going to use my Instapot. I love my Kasari Instapot. Kasari makes great appliances. I have their air fryer, I have their blender, and I have their Instapot. I love them because they're easy to use as a Sesame Street chef. I'll link that also in the description link below. Let's go ahead and make our eggs. So the recipe, I've done tons of video on Instapot eggs. It's 5, 5, and 5. 5 minutes for it to cook, and then 5 minutes after it's cooked, you release the valve. 5 minutes after, you just let it sit, and then release the valve and take them out for 5 minutes in an ice bath. It's a win. So let's go ahead and get those set up, because that's going to be for our keto meal, for our cheap keto meal actually, our egg salad sandwiches. Let's go get those started. Houston, we have a Sesame Street chef problem. I just cracked my eggs in there. I accidentally already cracked my eggs. I cannot believe it. Well, there you go. Royal weight loss meets real life. I am the Sesame Street chef. We have our eggs set in here. I've already put my water in here. Don't mind my broken nails. This is Royal weight loss meets real life. I'm a real life mama to a almost 4-year-old foster mentee. Ain't nobody got time to get my nails did. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this going, get it set for 5 minutes on high pressure, and let it start cooking for me. So I got it going. I first did cook time 5 minutes, change that, then did the pressure temperature to high, change that, hit start. It's gonna go for 5 minutes. I did clean my seal on this, so I am always mindful to triple check it. It scares me, because again, it's not the Instapot, it's me as a Sesame Street chef. As a Sesame Street chef, I am somewhat fearful that I'm gonna blow myself up, as I have with other things. True story. So I always triple check the nozzle on the top of here, and I also triple check that everything is set. And then now I just remove myself from the kitchen while this goes. It's one of my biggest fears. Don't ask me why. It's an unhealthy, irrational fear. But this is Royal weight loss meets real life. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna evacuate the kitchen while this cooks. It could be any product, by the way. Kasari is the best, and it could be any product, by the way. I would just leave. So I'm gonna go do some social media stuff, and I'll come back after this bad boy is cooked. I'm also checking on my keto pizzas, as those are cooking too. These smell heavenly. She's over here again because she knows. These are perfect. These literally smell so good. So now what I would do is just put my toppings on top of them. I could also flip them again before I put my toppings on to make sure it gets a little crispy on the bottom. You definitely can freeze these. These are great to freeze. I would wrap them in parchment paper and then maybe put them in a Ziploc bag. For sure you could freeze these and then have a bunch of these. So yes, I would say feeling the texture and the consistency, this is a go. I'm gonna go ahead and put toppings on top of them, put them back in the oven and make it all ooey gooey, and we'll be all set to go. Totally can top your pizzas with whatever you have. I'm just using some basil because I like basil pesto on it, and because it's high fat and there's not as many carbs as like a tomato sauce. You could also use my Alfredo sauce on top of it too. Whatever you feel would fit your taste buds of what your particular craving is. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and top with some cheese. So same thing, I grated some fresh cheese on top, and I'm just gonna, I didn't use that much cheese because this does have cheese in it. I'd rather focus the flavors on the pesto instead. You could put a little olive oil maybe to make it even just a smidge, like a misting of it if you wanted to get a little more high fats in there. I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up and get it so we can go ahead and eat it. She knows, like she's just been here the whole time. Okay, let me go put this back in the oven. So the recipe for it's 2 eggs, 4 cups of chicken, and you can make that chicken canned chicken, rotisserie chicken, organic chicken breast, however, wherever you're getting your chicken sources from. You need 4 cups of chicken with it. And then 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. And then I put spices with it with the garlic and all the other fixings in terms of spices. That is in the official recipe too. And then you go ahead and cook that in the oven. And that keto pizza, that keto recipe for the pizza can be frozen deliciously, beautifully, lovely. It's amazing. You could use it with basil pesto on top. You could use it with an Alfredo sauce on top. You could do lots of different things with it to make it an awesome keto meal, and a cheap keto on a budget too. That was not expensive at all to make that keto meal, and super simple. If you have picky children, they will not know that they're getting extra source of protein with it, but keeping in mind keto is high fat, moderate protein, low carb on the ketogenic diet. So keeping that in mind with making sure maybe tomato sauce isn't the best pairing because it has more carbs and it has more sugar. So maybe having the Alfredo sauce may be a better bet for you, or having the basil pesto sauce instead. So I am running a few minutes behind, 1 minute behind. It should be 5 minutes of where it's sitting in after it's cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead and release the valve on it and let that get set to open it up. So I'm gonna take these steaming hot eggs out, put them in my ice bath and get them cooled down before I take the shells off. And they're just gonna simply go straight into the ice bath. And hopefully I don't drop them all before they go into the ice. So now that my eggs are covered, I'm gonna go ahead and let these sit for 5 minutes, and then we can start doing more of our keto meal prep. How delicious are these? These are so good, so good. I can't wait to eat them. You can freeze these. After you've cooked them this way, you can freeze them this way, or you can freeze them just with the pizza crust, whichever you prefer. But go ahead and dive in for this high fat, moderate protein, low carb meal. And applesauce says hi. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel the shell off of these guys and get my eggs set to start putting in my egg salad. So I'm gonna go ahead and mash up my eggs and then add my mayonnaise to it, and then they will be all set for my delicious egg salad. So I'm still mashing, getting this all squished together. You could do it a better, more efficient way. I just like using a fork because it's easy and I can mix everything around really simply. And this is a great ketogenic diet meal prep meal to have, just to have for your kids if they need something quick on the go. It's just really simple, really, really simple to do. I'm gonna start scooping these in here. The dogs know what's up. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop these in here and start making my egg salad sandwiches. Oh my gosh. Look how delicious that looks. High fat, moderate protein, low carb. And of course, we know organic is best, grass-fed is best. I've already washed these off. They're already in a baggie, so they're all set for my delicious egg salad sandwiches, but keto style. This keto recipe is so simple, so easy. Look how delicious that is. It's ready to eat, friends. You could add some spices in there or add a little vinegar if you also wanted to have it in there. I did. I like having a little bit more vinegar into my egg salad, but totally personal preference. But bon appetit for your cheap keto meal. And this cheap keto meal was 80 cents for the eggs. If you got like a cage-free or like a different kind of higher end egg, it would be more expensive. But if you got the bare bones, cheapest eggs, 80 cents for the eggs for this whole thing. For your lettuce, for these actual pieces off of it, I'm gonna count 10 cents for each one, so that's 20 cents. So this is $1 for all of these meals. For 2 of these together, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is and that there's at least 2 other servings in here. So I'm gonna say that total, this is like 30 cents, 40 cents for this delicious cheap keto meal that's healthy, nutritious, high fat, moderate protein, low carb. So next for the egg salad sandwiches, simply mixing your eggs with mayonnaise together, your hard-boiled eggs. This is an easy recipe. Like once a week incorporating this in will save you a ton of money. If you have it with lettuce wraps or romaine lettuce wraps, you can get that. Aldi has frequently organic romaine wraps on sale, so you could have it as an organic sandwich, and I'm counting the sandwich as the lettuce wrapping for that. Or if you're getting tired of having like wraps with it, with the lettuce leaves, you can just simply shred your lettuce and make it a salad.
The cool thing about having a blog is I can pull up my own crock pot roast recipe off of my phone. I'm going to go ahead and put the ingredients into the crock pot. There's my chicken stock that I'm going to add to the crock pot. And then I'm also going to get the spices and some of the apple cider vinegar added. So next I go ahead and add my olive oil on top of it. I've also will go ahead and get my spices added onto it. Put that bad boy on high for 6 hours or on low for 8 hours, depending whichever is easiest for you. Come back and check on it later on in the afternoon. So here's my final product of my pot roast, which the recipe is down in the description link below. Pork chop and applesauce wanted to come by. Also to see as I portioned out the serving sizes for the pot roast. It's a great keto recipe.
Next is number 3. 3 is the bomb on this one, is my roast. So in the video that I did with the roast, I halved the meat. It turned out to be less meat than what I showed you in the Walmart part 1 video. Little editing error on my part. The royal weight loss meets real life. You guys like my llama shirt? Isn't it so cute? There, now you can see it. So the pork shoulder that I had purchased in the Walmart cheap keto video, the part 1 in this, was a $15 roast. It was equating to 16 meals, making it under $1 per meal. This one, my roast was a little bit different. So, but that roast, if you're not incorporating a pork shoulder in your crock pot, you need to. Like if you're doing cheap keto on a budget, or if you're a busy mama and you got lots of kids, or you got teenage boys at home, or a husband that likes to eat, or a partner that likes to eat, get yo roast. I highly recommend that. Having a roast, it's easy. You can put it on the crock pot and then you don't have to, you just put the meat in the crock pot, put the fixins, the salt, seasonings and all of that, and it's a really easy recipe each week to have. Next is artichokes. I love artichokes. I'm loving them. They're really becoming a part of my keto meals. I just love them because y'all, it's easy, it's high, it's high fat and it's low carb. Having this, you have to pull it, which takes you time to eat. And if you're like me, I love to eat. I love to chew. Truth be told. So this having to pull it off, dip it in the melted butter, it's amazing. And it's really simple. It's really simple. If I can do it, the Sesame Street chef of cooking, you can do it too. So I recommend having these, and I made it as part of a side with it. So we had the egg salad sandwich with an artichoke as one of the meals on this. Next was having cabbage for coleslaw with hard-boiled eggs too as some of the meals. The coleslaw that I used was Keto Ginger's recipe, which I will link in the website link that I have for this whole meal plan. It's amazing. So I showed you purchasing those cabbages. You have the green cabbage and the purple cabbage and you mix them together and then you can make your coleslaw. You can shred your own in a food processor, really simple. And we're gonna process the cabbage into little chunks. You can buy your bagged coleslaw, or you could buy broccoli, organic cabbage, shred it in the food processor and use that for your coleslaw. Totally up to you. I did my own shredding because it was cheaper. So if you have like a teenage kid in the house that could shred that for you once a week as part of your meal prep, it's so inexpensive versus like the bags. So, and the cabbage is a lower carb vegetable too. It's a good choice. It will skyrocket you across the sky, Sophia Petrel, if you get my reference.
So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup to my Kasari Instapot, put my trivet down. I do love the Kasari Instapot, which is in the description link below, because they make great appliances that are super easy, even for somebody like me to cook with. I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken set and put it in the Instapot, and also go ahead and put the olive oil on top of it and all of my spice seasonings. I did vary up my spices this time. In the description link below is some different spices, but I wanted to try the Trader Joe's 21 Salute seasoning, which will be in the description link below too. So I have an 8-quart Kasari Instapot, so I'm going to set my chicken on for 35 minutes. I'm going to put it on high pressure, and I'm going to make sure all my buttons are checked, and then I'm going to check the top nozzle also to make sure everything is locked and sealed properly. I'm going to go ahead and portion out my different chicken sizes. For me, it's helpful to use a digital scale to make sure that I don't overeat and have like 15 ounces of chicken, for example. I do like to measure them out, and then that way also I can make sure that, I'm eating the proper amount without going overboard with portion control. Gosh, that's a lot of food. Oh my goodness. Look at how many chicken meals are made. This ketogenic chicken recipe is so simple. And also, here's the leftover carcass. That thing got picked clean, buddy. That is picked clean. The dogs know where to go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and drain the chicken stock out of this. I'm going to use this in my keto roast. I like to have chicken stock on hand. I no longer purchase it. I actually just use it for my leftover Instapot chicken, cooking the whole chickens together. So I'm going to go ahead and get the stock set. My goodness, there was so much leftover stock, I actually had to portion it out into another container. And I like having one in the freezer, one in the fridge. It makes it really simple. So I'm just parceling this out to get all of the maximum benefits from cooking this whole keto chicken. This was the whole fruits of my labor for my Instapot chicken. Gosh, look at how many meals this is and how much food this is for only $5. I can't believe.
Next I saved probably the best for last, was the whole chicken in the Instapot. Y'all, I'm gonna be having another video coming out soon within the next week, more about whole chickens and why they're so cheap keto on a budget, why they are so such good sources. You can get an organic chicken, although this one was not. This one I used in the video was the $5 chicken, but you can use it for the chicken stock. You can use it for the meat. I didn't even include in here, I used in the roast the stock from like the bone broth, not the bone broth, the chicken stock from making the whole chicken. I used that for the crock pot roast. So the whole chicken, putting it in there, is the chicken meat and the chicken stock that comes from it is amazing. And you can pair it with mayonnaise to make it a high fat, moderate protein, low carb meal. It's really simple in your Instapot. And right now we have the Amazon Prime Day going on, which I will link down below. My amazing Kasari Instapot is on discount, is on sale. I love Kasari's products. They're really simple to use and easy to use. So shout out to Kasari. And then the final keto meal that I have and the keto recipe is cabbage with my Alfredo sauce. My Countess Alfredo sauce is amazing, and you can cut again in your food processor the cabbage, make that your noodles, cook that maybe in some bacon grease or in some butter, make those your noodles, and then have with it Alfredo. My Alfredo recipe is down in the description link below, but it's simply butter, cream cheese, cream, and Parmesan. Tell me you're not full after eating that. If you want to be full, eat that Alfredo because it's so good. And then that's high fat, right? That's the high fat, and keto's high fat, moderate protein, low carb. So the low carb part is having the cabbage, and then it needs a protein to make it moderate protein. So you could have on that a side of a hard-boiled egg or some of your leftover chicken, or if you have some leftover frozen taco meat, or not taco meat, leftover frozen beef. I always encourage for a quick grabby keto meal or a keto recipe is having already cooked ground beef, because real weight loss means real life. Like, hello, like that's why my hair looks like this. This is real life. So, and my lipstick looks this way too. Like, it's real life. It's real life. It's real life. So, you can add protein on top of that meal as well. And I did not film it, so sorry, but that's okay. You guys still love me, even though I didn't show you the last meal. So all of those were $1.25. When you add them up, figure out how many meals there were, parcel out the portion sizes. And of course, some people, will drive me crazy. Maybe you eat 4 ounces of meat, and maybe I eat 8 ounces of meat because I'm doing intermittent fasting with the ketogenic diet. So thine own self be true. Some of these can be skewed a little bit. The $1.25 is what I equated it to, but certainly it could swing back. It could be $1. It could be 99 cents, or it could be $1.99. So if you take the actual $1.25 that I'm talking about these meals, just know that it could scale one way or the other depending on your portion sizes versus what I bought and versus your artichoke. Your artichoke won't get mad if it's $1.23 and I round it up, right? Right. If you found this video helpful, make sure you cha-cha your thumbs down, smash that like button, make sure you click subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, put that in the comments below. I want to see more $1.25 meals. I'm happy to do that. And also, your question of the day is, what is your favorite keto meal? Seeing those helps A, the keto community, but B, it helps give me ideas for future YouTube videos, and I may take your YouTube suggestion up. So make sure you sign up for my weekly Wednesday weight loss email, and I'll see you guys again next time. Check out part 1 if you haven't already done so. Bye guys, make it a powerful day.